Welcome to FA Cup Files, ESTD 1871, where football's oldest trophy tells its greatest stories. Step into history with FA Cup Files, a tribute to grit, glory, and the birth of the beautiful game. Since 1871, legends have been made. FA Cup Files brings you the stories time tried to forget.
You notice Bill Shankly there having a word with Frank McClintock, and Bertie Mee also there. Bill Shankly all smiles. Well, he's got the cop at that end. Bertie Mee, who with Don Howe has done such a waiting this moment. The two skippers having a quiet word there, Frank McClintock and Tommy Smith. And I doubt if they're any better anywhere. Goalkeeper Ray Clements, who caught a sight of him. There's Bob. Charlie George. There's Bob McNabb. He's fit yesterday after he turned an ankle over last Saturday. Oh, and Larry Lloyd has seen his family. We saw them earlier ourselves in our ITV presentation. 6 brothers, 2 sisters, have come up in that minibus from Bristol to see him. Here's Charlie George, only 20. See Ian Evans, the chairman of Sheffield Wednesday and the chairman of the Football Association. Dennis follows away on the left, the secretary of the FA. McClintock, Footballer of the Year, presented to His Royal Highness. Frank, who's been here on 4 different occasions for cup finals, and each time has been a loser. Very relaxed indeed. Bob Wilson. Story and then Charlie George. Said he was going to get that hair trimmed before this final. I don't think he has. I can imagine the roar that will go up when the Liverpool players are presented. Looking very relaxed indeed. Manager Bertie Mee. Now it's the turn of Liverpool and Tommy Smith. Ray Clements, the brilliant goalkeeper. I think a little later on. Steve Heighway, Larry Lloyd, and Mr. J. Bell of Newcastle. It's Mr. Q. as the teams break away. Let me just remind you of that competition we're running this afternoon on ITV. Bill Shankly, whether the winners will be named in our Cup Final Inquest programme tomorrow afternoon at 2. So you can watch the game, enjoy our competition, and perhaps win yourself £20. The Arsenal team then, first of all, entirely as expected, with Peter Storey having been past fit to take that number 4 shirt and such an important role in the middle of the field to destroy and to try and create as well. The substitute Eddie Kelly, who scored such a vital goal against Stoke last week, substitute once more. The footballer of the year, as we said, and it looks as though he wants them to turn over. Here's the Liverpool side, again very much as expected. Perhaps the only minor surprise is that Peter Thompson was substituted. Alan Evans wears the number 8 shirt, and as we were saying earlier, that might well mean that he is... As two great captains meet, who's going to win this toss? Not that there is very much advantage to be gained. It's almost a still afternoon this day. We're going to get a great final as the 1971 Cup Final gets away. Liverpool all in red then, defending that goal to our left. Toshak immediately showing his power in the air. Happy to get a first touch and then down in most. The referee there saying, for goodness sake, ref, not too much of that. In the first half minute, Hughes making a break. Tommy Smith, in fact, is going to leave it for Alec Lindsay, presumably to float it. Larry Lloyd's gone right up there. No, he hasn't. Hughes. And across behind that Arsenal goal, and a goal kick to Arsenal. Hughes first to that one. Trying to get Toshak away. McClintock. Beaten there by Toshak. Rice getting it well, but the whistle has gone again for an unfair challenge on Toshak, and Arsenal cannot get this ball away. McClintock at the heart of it again, and Lindsay once more to take the free kick for Liverpool. This time I imagine he will float one. Lloyd has again gone up for Liverpool, this massive young number 5. Toshak at the far side, so dangerous in the air, has called for it as well, but it's over Toshak's head. This time Ian Callaghan to take it. Toshak wanting it in the air. Lloyd this time has stayed back. Graham right back to hook it away for the Arsenal. Hughes to pounce on it. Evans and Hall. There he is in his midfield position straight away. And still Hall going on. Toshak. Really worrying moments these for the Arsenal. Hall almost getting a chance to turn it in, and it's not away yet. Graham taking far too long to get it away. Heart-searching moments there for the Arsenal, and now they are away with Kennedy. A good pass by Charlie George, and Kennedy's shot going across that Liverpool goal. Not a very good one. Radford, in fact, trapping it, but that red wall was on him, and Smith back to Clements. Evans. Arsenal backing that middle of the field at the moment. It's George Graham now for them. To Bob McNabb. Graham played for Armstrong. Smith looked for a moment as though he might get into trouble, but he got himself out of it beautifully. And a good pass there by the Liverpool captain to Lindsay. Hughes begging for it. No, not Hughes. It's Heighway begging for it down the left. Callaghan. And there's Toshak poised at the far side. Rice for the Arsenal. Charlie George. Storey. And now Rice. John Radford. Charlie George. Played beautifully there by Charlie George to Armstrong. That's 2 good passes already by young George. But Smith getting in very quickly again for Liverpool. Evans to Callaghan. Heighway. Stopped by Gray. And so now it's George Graham as Arsenal's yellow shirts come forward. Bradford. And stopped by Lloyd. Charlie George. Graham again. Off the head of Heighway and Story. Graham. And Clements. Arsenal's ball. Finding it very difficult to get a man free. But now it's Armstrong. In fact, he had a lot of space behind him and wasn't aware of it. But McNabb now, and Story going in, and Lloyd showing his power in the air once more for Liverpool. But a good break by Peter Story. Here he is going back now towards a defensive position. He'll need to, because there's a good pass by Callaghan to Hall. Hall now to Evans, and he couldn't hold it. And so it'll be Lindsay with it. Clintock struggling to try and get to that ball in the air before Toshak, and Toshak winning it, and now Callaghan. Hughes. And as Malcolm Allison predicted, we have Heighway doing a lot of work down that left, with Evans very much the orthodox front runner. Hughes. Oh, Hughes made a bit of space for himself there, but not enough power behind that shot. He loves to come forward and can be very dangerous when he gets to the edge of a penalty area. The pace clearly beginning to tell on these players now in this great heat. Lloyd winning it in the air. Kelly. Fresh blood on the field for the Arsenal. Rice. Nice looking cross there. Radford was hoping for it. Armstrong, will he get a shot in? Not nearly enough power though. Moment. Alan Evans played with great determination there and found Lindsay. Hughes. Lawler right up there. And Lawler staying up there, but it's still George Armstrong, and now he finds Radford a bit of space ahead of him. Kennedy is up with him. He's taking on Smith, and he's beaten Smith. Hughes is piling back, and so too is Lloyd. And Tommy Smith back on his feet as well. Now, did that hit his hands? No, it didn't. And in fact, the ball went off Radford in the end. Radford, in fact, claiming to the linesman that ball hit Hughes' hand. And the throw, in fact, going to Liverpool. The ball coming off Radford at the last. Tommy Smith to take it. Now Armstrong. Quick thinking by him, and a corner.
It's obvious that John Radford is making his pace tell against Tommy Smith and Larry Lloyd there. There have been a couple of occasions where he's pushed it in front of him and gone like a bolt from the blue for goal.
Radford, or rather McClintock, you see, has gone up, and it looks as though Peter Thompson is coming on as a substitute for Liverpool, and Alan Evans is going off. So Thompson, a player with tremendous flair, a man who can seek out the goals, on as a substitute, and Alan Evans off. So both the substitutes on as Armstrong floats this one in. George Graham looks for it with his head, but Lloyd in fact got it away. Behind him, Simpson, McClintock, and Rice to the safe way out. Larry Lloyd. Simpson winning it in the air. Callaghan now. Peter Thompson, his first touch of the ball. Away goes the Liverpool substitute. But the cross is there for Toshak. Turned back now. Oh, and a fine clearance by Simpson there for the Arsenal. Hughes now looks as though he's taken a knock. But the play going on. And another one. Lindsay in very sharply and swiftly for Liverpool. Peter Thompson. Lloyd. Smith. And Callaghan. Thompson. Heighway away on the left again. Here's Heighway. Toshak lurking at the far side. That's a danger sign for the Arsenal. And here's Lindsay. In fact, he had me and Don Howe. And here's the free kick from Tommy Smith for Liverpool. George Graham to get ahead to it. Kennedy to Charlie George. Swung towards the left, and there's Kelly and Radford here. Kelly. Radford. And a first-time cross there. Kennedy turning it. Radford. And a first-time cross there. Kennedy turning it there. Met that very nicely indeed. Was always leading his defender by half a yard.
Well, here we see again John Radford. This time I think he found himself against Hughes and didn't want to take him on. And there's the quick cross. Good shot there with Kennedy's right foot. A little push trap kind of shot, but just wide of the post.
Rice. And once more Radford on the touchline. And Rice, the fullback, has gone on. Challenged there by Hughes. And Hughes winning that challenge as he sends Rice tumbling to the floor with a perfectly fair challenge, says the referee, and finds Peter Thompson. George getting in quickly on Thompson as well. And the ball went off Thompson last of all. Kelly with the throw. And Kelly with a chance, no, Armstrong to take this Arsenal throw. Kennedy. Armstrong. The fittest and the bravest side are now going to win this one. Yes, it went over. The referee was right there. The lines were probably shielded by the bulky figure of Ray Kennedy, but Norman Burtonshaw, who's refereed this game superbly, and he's been never more than 5 or 10 yards from the ball, it seems, at any one moment, was there, in fact, to do the linesman's job. Radford again. Good, deep, floating cross by Radford. McClintock's gone up, and so too has Graham. And the throw given to Arsenal. A little surprising there. I thought that came off Kennedy. But it's Radford to take it, to summon up an effort for a long one. George Graham will try and flick it on. My goodness, he almost got it there and flicked away finally, with the skipper doing a skipper's job, the number 4, Tommy Smith.
Well, let's look at it again now and watch how high Graham gets up there. Tremendous jump, and the left-handed save there, a reflex save of Clements.
And now the corner. Almost there again by Graham, and Liverpool in terrible trouble until Larry Lloyd finally gets it away from Graham's header. And now Thompson to Hughes, pounding away. Heighway over on the far side, covered by McClintock. Heighway versus McClintock, and Heighway turning it back, and Wilson there, off the foot of Bob McNabb. But it's Radford to take it, to summon up an effort for a long one. George Graham will try and flick it on. My goodness, he almost got it there and flicked away finally, with the skipper doing a skipper's job, the number 4, Tommy Smith.
Well, let's look at it again now and watch how high Graham gets up there. Tremendous jump, and the left-handed save there, a reflex save of Clements.
And now the corner. Almost there again by Graham, and Liverpool in terrible, pumping that one into touch. So there we are with 11 minutes to go. No score. Arsenal 0, Liverpool 0. Brian Hall. We're getting to the moment that I remember Malcolm Allison referred to a couple of years ago. The last 10 minutes, the period of fear when men are so desperately afraid of making a mistake because there may not be enough time to put it right. Here's Heighway for Liverpool. And Wilson, oh, he didn't get that one the first time, but he did the second time. And now as their limbs begin to ache, Lawler, Hall. Peter Thompson. Good cross there, and Wilson gathering it well for Arsenal. Smith. Simpson now for Arsenal. George Armstrong. Charlie George. Beautifully hit pass there by George. Short backlift, but found all the space he wanted. Beautifully accurate. And now Kennedy. Beautifully hit pass there by George. Short backlift, but found all the space he wanted. Beautifully accurate. And now Kennedy in that Liverpool penalty area. There's his throw again. And McClintock going in, or rather Armstrong going in. But a push by Armstrong on. Peter Thompson now for Liverpool. Teasing and taunting Russ, and getting his shot in, but doing just as Jimmy Hill did a moment ago.
If it does go to extra time, he was one of the men that I was expecting to last.
Right, now it's Armstrong as Arsenal comes sweeping forward again. Hughes back on his feet. Kennedy at the far side, turning it back now for George Graham to try and blister one in. But again, straight into the arms of the beautifully positioned Clements. And now Callaghan, pumped forward. Heighway will go after it, and Simpson is there for the Arsenal. Hall challenging beautifully for everything still. And there's a man prepared to take on his fullback with a shot just over. Hall challenging beautifully for everything still. And there's a man prepared to take on his fullback with a shot just over. John Howe suffering as well, and Bertie Mee. And a good piece of play there. Now Lawler. Thompson crying for the ball and getting it over on the right. Lawler. Toshak again, waiting patiently at the far side, again winning it in the air. And Kelly doing very well for the Arsenal because Thompson was going in fast. Smith, a throw. It'll be Heighway to take the throw for Liverpool. Toshak is there as well. It almost caught Arsenal out. And we hear from Hampden Park that Rangers have equalised now. Celtic 1, Rangers 1. Simpson's free kick forward. Radford trying to make something of it. And Kennedy's all right. He's onside. Oh, just past that post. Fiercely hit. Simpson's free kick forward. Radford trying to make something of it, and Kennedy's all right, he's onside. Oh, just past that post. Fiercely hit away. McNabb getting it for the Arsenal. Kelly. George Graham. Beaten though by Lindsay. Getting to show which players are beginning to fade just a little bit, and Lindsay isn't one of them as he's coming forward still. Callaghan. A deep cross, and Toshak waiting once more, and Wilson again getting that at the second attempt. Isn't one of them as he's coming forward still. Callaghan. A deep cross, and Toshak waiting once more, and Wilson again getting that at the second attempt. Lloyd. A nod sideways for Hughes, who seems to have recovered from that touch of cramp. Simpson, or rather Thompson. And now Brian Hall. A deep cross, but this time too deep for Toshak, who'd come in from that far post. Under 2 minutes to go, and facing these two sides then will be 30 punishing minutes of extra time. Radford still winning them in the air. But Liverpool in possession with Larry Lloyd. Thompson in isolation on this left touchline. Rice trying to force him out all the time, and I think Thompson would like to drink inside. Now he's found Hughes. Hall. Callaghan. And Toshak is right up there too, but couldn't get any power behind that header. Or quite high enough to the far side. As we go into injury time at the end of the game. Peter Thompson. Still Heighway waiting over on the right. Here he is. Thompson still. Lawler's gone up into a dangerous position up in that Arsenal penalty area. And there's time now for Heighway to cross it. And time too for Wilson to catch it. Heighway again. Last little flurry from Liverpool. Still no score. And 3/4 of a minute of injury time play. Lawler. Callaghan using up the last reserves of energy to try and keep that one in and failed to do it. Kelly's throw. And now Rice. And now it'll be Liverpool's throw. I noticed even the referee was mopping his brow there. He must be feeling it as well. Toshak turning it inside for Callaghan. A good swift break here by Liverpool. Toshak on the floor. Heighway. And straight to Kelly. Toshak is still down. Arsenal to bring it away. Through George Graham. We've now played nearly 2 minutes of injury time. Inside for Kelly. He's got Charlie George inside him. But George won't have time to get his shot in, I think. Well, he put it straight to Heighway in any case. And now Tommy Smith takes up the running for Liverpool. The two captains facing each other now. Toshak, who's got himself to his feet. And a corner to Liverpool, but I doubt very much if they'll have time to take it. The referee's been looking hard at that watch, and we've had 2.5 minutes of injury time already. Frantic whistling from the Arsenal supporters. At this moment they'll settle for another half an hour of extra time. Lloyd right up there, Radford back with him. Again the referee looks at his whistle, or rather at his watch. That's the way it gets us up here as well. But Callaghan with the corner. And it's Radford who gets it away. Hall who tries to get in there. And Wilson who grabs watch. That's the way it gets us up here as well. But Callaghan with the corner. And it's Radford who gets it away. Hall who tries to get in there. And Wilson who grabs it from under his crossbar. Over 3 minutes now of injury time. Emlyn Hughes. McNabb in there. And Rice. And there goes the whistle for the end of 90 minutes. And now the players will rest themselves for a couple of minutes, get fresh instructions. There's Norman Burtonshaw here, the manager's coming out. And then they'll face another 15 minutes each way.
Well, there is Stevie Heighway on the floor, and of course.
So now we go into 30 minutes of extra time, and what McClintock is doing for Arsenal, you can be sure that Tommy Smith is doing for Liverpool. Tossing up again to see which end they shall play. I suppose, just to be cussed. Tommy Wilson says, let's all change over and play. Not the way we were facing, but turn around and... So in other words, Liverpool will now be defending that goal to our right. 15 minutes each way. And more players now have got their socks about their ankles. And we really could have a most dramatic period of extra time now, as tired men raise themselves for one last big effort, and away we go. Kelly now. A little bit of space opened up there for George Graham if he could get a shot in. He's found Radford instead, and Radford is stopped by Lawler. In goes Charlie George. McNabb as well, and with Simpson. Lloyd winning it again. Hughes to Thompson, and away on the left is Heighway. Still Heighway, dangerous indeed! Oh, goal! Oh. Nab as well, and with Simpson. Lloyd winning it again. Hughes to Thompson, and away on the left is Heighway. Still Heighway, dangerous indeed! Oh, goal! Oh, that's the goal! Steve Heighway for Liverpool! Wilson came away from that near post, and Heighway found the gap. The man who has done so little in the game has made the one big strike.
And here it is now, it's the first time he's taken his man on in the game. He's streaked for that line, which he loves doing. Bob Wilson had come too far off his post there, and it was in on the near post. Really, a goalkeeper shouldn't be beaten like that. In fact, we've seen Heighway do that before on television. Squeeze it in where the ball shouldn't go.
So Steve Heighway, unknown at the start of this season, has put Liverpool ahead in the cup final, and now it'll need all of Frank McClintock's leadership to pull it back. Arsenal can't complain they haven't had the chances, because they have. Down goes Armstrong, McNabb is going on, and the whistle must have gone because the referee is stationary. I don't think McNabb could have heard it with the cop going mad. Free kick, Peter Simpson with it. A deep and a curling one, and Clements lost it for a moment and got it bravely at the second go. Deep and a curling one, and Clements lost it for a moment and got it bravely at the second go for the corner. So is McClintock going to be a loser again? Are Arsenal going to have these double dreams dashed from them? Are Liverpool going to repeat their cup final success here of 6 years ago? Well, in the next 25 minutes we shall know, as Peter Thompson now takes this corner. Toshak at the far side again, winning it in the air. Brian Hall! Oh, a fine save by Wilson. Corner. Toshak at the far side again, winning it in the air. Brian Hall! Oh, a fine save by Wilson. Talk has come forward for this one. They are delighted as they watch George Armstrong now try to float this corner in when we can get this two-man Liverpool wall back. Armstrong's free kick, and it's low, and it's Smith, who's played a fine captain's part for Liverpool, getting it away. Lindsay. And over the head of McClintock to Heighway. Stopped by Simpson, but here's Hall, that tremendous little worker, and what a good pass by Brian Hall. Nobody's played better than Hall on that Liverpool side. He's found Thompson. But Thompson was denied his shot by McNabb, but here's Hall again. And this time Hall's got past McNabb. A pinky little cross there, and McClintock diving in to get it away. Lawler. Smith. Liverpool looking really dangerous, and here's Hughes. But he couldn't quite control it, and he won't get a second attempt, and it's a goal kick. Great break though by Hughes. George Graham, a nice little nod inside there for Kelly. Graham again. Kennedy on the far side, Charlie George in the middle, and that's aimed towards Ray Kennedy, but Tommy Smith there, once more for Liverpool. Armstrong has won it, but will he get time to put it over? Hughes and Lloyd once more, and a corner to contest that number 5 shirt. Armstrong then with the corner. Kennedy, or rather McClintock getting ahead to it. Lawler to pump it away once more for Liverpool. Kennedy. George and Kennedy again. Radford. Back over his head. Kelly is right in there, playing much more as a striker in this extra time. And it's there! George Graham! It's George Graham who got the touch and makes it 1-1. Kennedy. George and Kennedy again. Radford. Back over his head. Kelly is right in there, playing much more as a striker in this extra time. And it's there! George. So 1-1 now. Kelly, who was right up there amongst the strikers.
Well, it was a kind of muddle goal this. The ball went up high. John Radford flicks it up and takes a chance. Says, somebody go for that. And Eddie Kelly goes for it, although he's got no chance. And as the Liverpool defenders dither, George Graham's there, gets a toe to it, and it dribbles past Clements into the net. An untidy goal, but at this stage of a cup final, they're just as effective, untidy or not.
So now they've got to do it all over again, Liverpool. Heighway to Charlie George. By any means. Kelly now surging forward for the Arsenal. Armstrong, and he's all right, says the linesman. He's not offside. Turned back. Radford going in and Kelly going in. And Clements holding it and keeping it brilliantly. Really magnificent goalkeeping again by this Liverpool player. And now we really have got a match, because there seem to be more and more open spaces now as men seem to be just too much exhausted to fill them. Thompson cross there to look for Toshak, and Charlie George to turn it back to Bob Wilson. McNabb. A long one forward, Kennedy to chase it, but Lawler gets on the end of it. Kennedy again. For once shaking off Tommy Smith, and he finds Radford. Driving one straight into the arms of Clements, watching that. For once shaking off Tommy Smith, and he finds Radford. Driving one straight into the arms of Clements, watching that shirt. I'm not sure that could all be sweat, because I noticed that Bob Paisley is taking a big white bucket back to the trainer's bench. But a cooling down process obviously required in that little break there. So away we go then for the last 15 minutes of this 1971 Cup final, and we stand at 1-1. Hall, and Liverpool's free kick. Lindsay to Thompson. Calling for it, Lindsay getting it and turning it first time to Toshak. But that went off an Arsenal player, it looked to me. Calling for it, Lindsay getting it and turning it first time to Toshak. But that went off an Arsenal player, it looked to me. A long ball to Kennedy, and Kennedy is onside. But he hadn't quite got the power to get there. And he's going to take another long throw. Aiming again towards George Graham. Lawler, in fact, who got ahead to that one. Simpson! He's going to take another long throw. Aiming again towards George Graham. Lawler, in fact, who got ahead to that one. Simpson! Oh, what a fabulous goal by George! Clements had no chance with that. And that puts us in the lead.
Marvellous goal there from Charlie George, absolutely superb. A good ball there from John Radford. He sees his moment, and then whack. Look how far it is from the post. Inches, fantastic goal.
And now we have the side of Arsenal players on the ground. Graham was down, Rice was down, they're on their feet again, and the Arsenal crowd are absolutely delirious because Arsenal now are less than 10 minutes away from doing the double. Charlie George, a tremendous goal. 10 minutes left. Liverpool's free kick, and McClintock perhaps sensing now that that losing run of his at Wembley may be ended. Charlie George, a brilliant second goal, but Heighway with the throw now for Liverpool, who scored a fine first goal for Liverpool. Lindsay to cross it again, Toshek rising and getting it, and Lawler! And this time Lawler's Simpson, a long one. Kennedy and Lloyd poised beneath it, and it's Lloyd who gets ahead to it. Now Armstrong. Bradford. With a shot, again well saved by Clements. 10 years ago, Simpson going to nod that one away for the corner, and this really could be the last crisis point for the Arsenal. Wilson, who's got to face this crisis. So many Arsenal players back, only Charlie George now is out of his own penalty area as Brian Hall takes the corner at last gasp for Liverpool, and Wilson is equal to it. You get the feeling that nobody really had enough strength in that Liverpool attack to lift themselves and offer an aerial challenge. It's all over!
Thanks for tuning into FA Cup Files, where every cup run holds a tale, and we're here to tell them all. From first whistles to last-minute winners, FA Cup Files will be here, uncovering football's finest. Subscribe and stay with us on FA Cup Files, where the magic never fades, and the legends live on.